First, put on your headphones and imagine this exciting story. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Today, we dive into the chilling case of Tatsuya Ichihashi, a story so bizarre and haunting, it shocked not only Japan, but the entire world. When 22-year-old Lindsay Hawker left England for Tokyo to teach English, she dreamed of adventure and new beginnings. Instead, her journey would end in unimaginable horror, her tragic fate later becoming the subject of a best-selling book and a major film. But it wasn't just the crime itself that gripped the public. It was her killer's desperate, grotesque efforts to escape justice that turned him into a twisted cult figure. Brace yourselves. This is the disturbing story of Tatsuya Ichihashi. Before we begin, we want to express our deepest condolences to the family of Lindsay Ann Hawker, whose life was stolen in such a brutal and senseless way. Tokyo, Japan. A sprawling metropolis where ancient temples stand in the shadows of neon skyscrapers and millions of lives cross paths daily. It was here in October 2007 that Lindsay arrived, full of hope, ready to begin her new chapter as an English teacher at Nova, Japan's largest private language school. Bright, adventurous, and full of life, Lindsay had just graduated with first-class honors in biology from the University of Leeds. She dreamed of traveling the world, starting with Tokyo, a city she described to family as feeling safer than home. Tragically, those words would soon haunt those who loved her most. On March 25, 2007, Lindsay packed her teaching materials, said goodbye to her roommates, and cycled off to work. She would never return. When Lindsay failed to show up for 2 days in a row, concern quickly escalated. Police pieced together her last known movements. A chilling timeline began to form. 6 days before she vanished, Lindsay had encountered a strange man on a train, a man she didn't recognize, but who insisted he was one of her students. He followed her home on foot, even approached her doorstep, asking for a drink of water. Trying to be polite, thinking he was eccentric but harmless, Lindsay invited him inside. He sketched her portrait, leaving his name and contact information. Tatsuya Ichihashi. Despite her roommate's warnings, Lindsay agreed to meet him again for an English lesson at a local cafe. It would be the last time anyone saw her alive. Security footage showed Lindsay and Ichihashi at the cafe, Lindsay visibly uncomfortable. After pretending to lose his wallet, Ichihashi convinced her to take a taxi with him to his apartment, just a short ride away. She asked the driver to wait. He didn't. It was a fatal mistake. When police raided Ichihashi's apartment 2 days later, he made a daring barefoot escape, sprinting past officers, vanishing into the night. But what they discovered on his balcony was more horrifying than anything they could have imagined. Hidden in a bathtub filled with sand and compost was Lindsay's lifeless body, gagged, bound, and brutally beaten. She had fought valiantly, but the odds were tragically against her. Tatsuya Ichihashi, son of a wealthy dentist and a brain surgeon, was no ordinary fugitive. A loner obsessed with violent manga, he used his family's wealth to stay hidden. He slashed off his own moles with a box cutter, cut his lips thinner with scissors, and stitched his nose narrower, all in a twisted attempt to change his face. For over 2 years, Ichihashi lived like a ghost, working under false names, moving from city to city, undergoing plastic surgeries to further alter his appearance. He even embarked on a pilgrimage across temples, praying for Lindsay's resurrection, a macabre fantasy inspired by manga. Meanwhile, Lindsay's heartbroken family refused to give up. They launched websites, held press conferences, and worked tirelessly to keep her case alive. The Japanese public and police faced growing pressure to catch the elusive killer. Finally, in 2009, a breakthrough. A plastic surgery clinic reported a suspicious patient with scars matching the wanted man. Photos were leaked to the press. A heavily altered but still recognizable Tatsuya Ichihashi. Just days later, at a ferry terminal in Osaka, an alert bystander spotted a tall young man wearing a surgical mask, hat, and sunglasses. Police swooped in. After a dramatic 2.5-year manhunt, Ichihashi was arrested. Standing before reporters, Lindsay's grieving father said, "We fought tirelessly for justice for our daughter, and today, justice has been served." Their nightmare was finally over, but the memory of Lindsay's kindness, bravery, and the devastating tragedy that befell her would never be forgotten.